Okay. So this is all allegedly, so I'm gonna preface this with this. We were gonna talk about the fact that the Dodgers and Padres started the MLB season in Korea when they're gonna go back to spring training and do all this BS because baseball doesn't know how to market their stars. Anyway, Shohei Ohtani was caught up in a major scandal, as it says here on the screen, and it does seem like that Otani could potentially be involved in a betting scandal. There are reports out there that Shohei Otani had transferred money from his bank account to his interpreter's bank account. Now, said interpreter has been fired by the Los Angeles Dodgers as a part of this investigation. Basically, what it feels like to me is that Shohei Ohtani or his interpreter were involved in gambling. And as we know, when it comes to gambling, you are not allowed to gamble at a facility, at a team facility. You're not allowed to gamble illegally, on illegal websites. And you're not allowed to gamble on the sport that you were involved in. Even though he's not a player, being around Otani and being, one of his interpreters, basically gambling on the sport of baseball is a no-no, and it would be on Otani. And again, these reports that are really concerning out there, there's multiple stories. There's a story out there that the Otani camp tried to run saying that, Otani was just doing this for a friend. And then there's a story out there that, this was a cover up for a scam. So there's not a ton of details on this. The only thing I'll say on it is this. I believe that in this society of sports gambling, which you guys know, I am a little bit of a gambler myself. Not big gambling, but I do gamble $5 here and there. You obviously have to do it responsibly. Players should absolutely not bet on their own sport because it ruins um the
Integrity.
competitive nature of the sport. I do believe that it is okay for players and people like to bet on sports outside of their own. So where I see this being a potential problem is obviously it's illegal if they use a bet such as Movada or another quote unquote illegal betting app. But I don't think this will become a big story, until we find out a whether it is for sure Shohei Ohtani doing the betting. And once we find that out, B, did he bet on baseball specifically? Because if he did not bet on baseball, I don't care. He can bet whatever he wants. But if he did bet on baseball and he did bet this amount of money and did it in a cover up with his interpreter, this is a huge story. And if this is all true, of him potentially betting on baseball, which my guess, if he did do that, he probably bet on the Angels probably losing games due to him being injured, would be my guess right off rip. Otani's career in Major League Baseball, as great of a star as he is, as much as MLB wants to market him, this could be damaging completely for not only Otani, not only for the Dodgers, but Major League Baseball as a whole. I hope I made myself clear on that. And I hope that I didn't leave out any murky details or any suspicion, because I don't want to sound like that I'm accusing Otani of gambling. I'm not. There's just not a ton of facts out there, but I think that there is some of this suspicion out there that makes you think it could potentially be him. And I would be willing to say that I think if he did do it, he probably did bet on baseball. But again, we don't know that for sure.
You know what this kind of sounds like to me? The Pete Rose situation.
Yep,
Do you do you see the similarities there a little bit?
I do. And the problem is with the social media era, excuse me, and all that we're in right now, and with the gambling apps and all that, it's a lot more easier to find things and things like that. Again, the concern report from my perspective is that, and this has been reported by multiple sources,
Okay.
Otani reportedly transferred money from his bank account to the now fired interpreter's bank account. And whether that was for the interpreter to use on his own bets or not, we don't know. But in my opinion, and now the fact that they're trying to cover it up by basically saying that the interpreter asked Otani to pay off his gambling debts. That to me seems like a cover up. Um, if I were to bet just let's say $10 and I lost $20 on a bet, I'm not going to come to you and say, "Hey, Josh, can you pay off $20 on my gambling bet?" Even if we are the closest of friends, because I lost a bet. That's just how it is. So that's the part that concerns me, and that's the part where I think this story may have more legs than what is currently being reported right now.
I don't have a lot of thoughts on this because there's still, like you said, there's so many details that we don't know right now. I just don't have a definitive opinion about all of this. All I will say is, in terms of the Pete Rose stuff, no, I don't think he belongs in the Hall of Fame. I think that's my only take on this.
Um, I'll say this. I don't think this is going to be the last betting scandal we have to deal with on this show in the next year or two. I
I
think
agree with you on that. I think it'll come up in other sports
I think
and
it will
other
come with
stars.
other sports. I think other stars. I think that this is the massive gaping hole that has opened up now with gambling being legal. And as we know, always gamble responsibly.